Hello, Simon Davis here again, and today we're going to have a look at the 20 top things that all rich people do that the poor just don't do at all, or in fact, more accurately, do quite the opposite. This is an absolutely superb exercise, and it's not something just to be taken lightly or done once, but actually, it's a really good exercise to give ourselves an ongoing route map and checkpoint as to, are we falling into bad habits? Are we actually doing the right things, the supported things, the things that have been proven to make us wealthier individuals, not just in monetary terms, but in our own personal and spiritual and well-being terms as well. So before I get into these 20 different items, different characteristics, if you like, what I'd like you to do is get a piece of paper and draw a line straight down the middle of it and put rich on one side, poor on the other. If you haven't got one to hand or a pen, stop the video now, go and get one, start again. So, are we ready? Well, the first thing that the rich do is they focus on opportunities. Okay? They focus on opportunities. Well, the rich see opportunities. Their radar is constantly tuned in to opportunities. They're looking to identify what they should be doing. Will this get me any closer to my goals? And there are a number of ways that they expose themselves and make sure more opportunities come their way that we'll look at in a little bit closer depth further on in some of the other characteristics. So the rich people are always opening themselves up to new possibilities, new, bigger and more opportunities. Whereas the rich just see obstacles. The rich focus on what they can't have, and the word can't repeats and repeats and repeats. So the poor just see obstacles where the rich see opportunities, and the poor very often think, well, what will other people think about this? What will people think about me if I were to do that? There are no opportunities for me to have. All the opportunities are closed. Excuses, excuses, excuses. Whereas rich people say, I'm going to find opportunities. I'm going to create opportunities. Okay, so let's go through the exercise. And which are you? Put a tick in the rich column if you are somebody who's tuned in and is looking for and creates opportunities, or a tick in the poor column if you just see obstacles. Okay, so that's the first category, and they're not in any particular order. These are in a very random order. So focus on opportunities is the first one. The next one is continually build valuable networks and connections. So the rich continually build connections, people they know that they can build relationships with, that they can collaborate with. That's a really, and this is a big word. I don't mean that it's got an awful lot of letters in it. It's an important word. It is a big word to focus on. It's collaboration. Who can you collaborate with? Who can you bring into your circle? Who can you develop relationships that you can create a two-way street with? And the poor don't see it this way. They just see it as one-way traffic. The poor see it as people always on the take. The rich see it as, what can I give? Who can I work with that I can benefit them, they can benefit me? So true collaborations in a two-way street. So how can I help people get what they want is a great abundance mentality. And that's the difference, is that rich people have an abundance mentality. Poor people have a scarcity mentality. They see lack in the world, whereas rich people see abundance in the world. Poor people see that everything is in short supply. So which column are you going to put a tick in? Do you see opportunities? Do you collaborate? Do you build your network and relationships? Or are you closed? You're holding your cards close to the chest in that poor mentality. Okay, next one. The rich take positive action and are self-starters. So, the rich, number of things. I'm just going to go off my notes here. The rich have courage. They have focus. They take action. They respond to feedback on the results of their action so that they can go again with a different angle, with a more resourceful angle, with a more facilitated angle, but they are persistent. Whereas the poor give up far too easily and far too soon, if they ever actually start at all, because the poor tend not to be very good self-starters. They're inconsistent. They are less proactive in that they are not proactive generally at all. And they will habitually overanalyze to come up with excuses of why they can't or why they shouldn't. And they also look for instant results and don't have the persistence to carry on until they get the big result. So the poor always look for short-term results, instant gratification. So they never move past the point in life that they are now. They never progress in life. They never grow. And this is all about growth, really. So the rich have courage, they're focused, they're persistence, they take action, focused action, they respond, they go again, keep going and keep going. Whereas the poor do just the opposite. Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4 is the rich take responsibility for their own results. So the basis of this is that the rich take responsibility for their own results and they hold themselves accountable for their own actions and their own results. They actually take a pride in their own results. Whereas what the poor do is they blame others and they blame their own circumstances. How many times have you heard poor people say, oh, it's not my fault, it's their fault, they didn't get the delivery to me on time, or we ran out of supplies, or whatever the excuse may be. It's somebody else's fault, not their own. They didn't take charge of the situation. Or it's their circumstances. Oh, I haven't got enough money to afford that self-development program, or that book, or to go on that course, or to afford that mentor, or I haven't got enough money to invest to create more wealth, or I had a bad upbringing, my parents were terrible, and I was never in the right sense. Always excuses about circumstances, others, and blame. Not taking possession of their outcome for themselves, whereas rich people take absolute responsibility and pride in their own circumstances, the creation of their own circumstances, the advancement of their own circumstances, and the results that they are getting, and always hold themselves accountable and never other people. Okay, so what's trait number 5? Well, trait number 5 is, and you may not have come across this before, is they believe in the law of value compensation. Okay, so what do I mean by the law of value compensation? Well, the rich understand that they're compensated for delivering value, whereas the poor get paid for their time. And although you could argue some of them do deliver value, because of the model that they've opted to operate in is a time for money model, then that will never it's not just not geared, it's not set up to deliver value, reciprocal value, on the base of value delivery. Whereas the rich always place themselves in an environment where the more value they deliver and the greater the value, the higher value of that value, the more they will receive in return. So their focus is always, how can I increase the value of what I'm delivering? So the rich are focusing on output, the poor focus on input, on the value of their time, not their results. Whereas the rich are always about increasing the value of what they deliver, that output of their delivery and its value. Okay, so that is the law of value compensation. Trait number 6, continual learning and application. When you study the habits of rich people, they're in constant pursuit of the acquisition of knowledge, high value skills, and they are voracious readers. They read widely so that and it's not just the acquisition of knowledge, it's the application and the implementation of that knowledge. So, there are very knowledgeable professors at universities. Not many of them are truly rich. They could be rich in spirit, but very few of them are actually rich in wealth, monetary terms. They've got lots of knowledge, but they've never applied it according to the law of compensation, value compensation that we covered in the previous step. So what the rich are looking to do is to acquire knowledge, acquire high value skills, and get a wide range of access to knowledge, i.e. they read voraciously and widely. Not necessarily so they can apply the skills, but more that they know what they are and what the right application of those can lead to, what it can achieve. They know then which skills to acquire so that they can collaborate with others who have those skills. Okay. Whereas the poor read very little, they indulge in very little self-development, and the skills that they do have are low value. They don't even look to extend those skills, to build them on them as they go through life. They're stagnant in their skill set. And that's why a lot of people are being left behind at the moment with the burgeoning online world of people being left behind because they are not upskilling, they're not acquiring those additional skills that they need to acquire, or that they can collaborate with others that they have so that they can access this brave new world of running business online. Okay, so on to the next one. Number 7. Seventh trait is resourcefulness and multiplication. So what do we mean by that? Well, the rich apply these skills that we've just been talking about that they acquire. They cultivate opportunities, they cultivate connections so that they can increase their cash flow and their wealth. Whereas the poor have a scarcity mentality that we have already spoken about, and live paycheck to paycheck. So it's always hand to mouth. They're never ahead of the game. So they're relying on the next supply of money to come through just to survive. There's never any excess. Whereas what the rich do is they apply those skills that they've acquired or that they can co-opt from other people. They leverage their opportunities and their connections to create even greater cash flow and therefore greater wealth. They limit their spending to well within that income and cash flow range. So that gives them more flexibility to go out and acquire more and more and more. And I don't mean acquire more Bentleys and Aston Martin. and big country houses that will soak up lots and lots of cash. I'm talking about acquiring real assets that create more wealth and more income for them. So, next one, what is valuable associations? The rich are always looking to generate and cultivate greater associations, more valuable associations, because, and you'll have come across this before, I'm sure, that we are all the sum of the average of the people we associate with. Okay, so I'd encourage you to associate with wealthier and broader minded, more extensively thinking people, whereas the poor keep themselves to themselves. They associate with the same people that they've always known, really because out of fear. That they don't like to be challenged, they don't like to extend themselves, they like to stay safe. Whereas the rich are always looking to extend themselves, looking to take risks, let's possibly call them, but to look at greater opportunities, what is possible for themselves by associating with other people who've got bigger, better, newer ideas. Okay, so number 9. Make wise investments. The rich make wise investments. They don't fritter their money on rubbish. They invest in courses. They invest in themselves. They invest in acquiring new and better skills. They're acquiring and working with mentors. They don't spend their money on small gratification. Whereas the poor are always investing in quick feel goods. They never amass any savings, and therefore they can't invest in themselves. Whereas the rich are always investing in themselves. They're always investing in in business, and they're always acquiring those additional skills and additional knowledge to allow them to do that. Number 10. This is really important and very often overlooked, that the rich will pay for value. Now, what I mean by that is, and if you're in business, you will have come across this, that the poor very often will look for bargains. They'll drive you into the ground and look for a discount. Truly rich people will never do that because they understand that it should be a fair exchange of value. They'll pay a decent price for a decent service. They'll pay a really good price for a really good service. They'll pay an extremely good price for a really big result. Whereas poor-minded people will just say, how much can you knock off that? Oh, it's too expensive for me. They're not the kind of people you want to deal with, nor is that the way that you want to go through life. Okay, number 11, self-promotion. The wealthy, the rich-minded people are always happy to self-promote. And that's because they understand that what they have has value for other people, so they're happy to shout about it. Whereas poor-minded people are always, oh, no, I don't want to tell anybody else about what this is that I can do because they may pinch it, they may take it from me. Well, so what? Or the other thing is that poor-minded people possibly do not have any value to shout about or to promote. Okay, so don't be in this fearful mindset. Get out there, show your value, share your value, deliver your value. That way it will come back to you in spades. That is a rich mentality and mindset. Number 12, focusing on net worth. Rich people focus on their net worth. They focus on building and keeping reserves of cash and investment so that they can always grow, they can always move forward. Whereas poor people spend right up to their limit. They're living paycheck to paycheck, and they have a limited mentality of their cash flow and wealth, so that they can never lay anything aside. There's never any excess for them to reinvest in themselves. Any good business is always reinvesting in itself. Any rich people are always reinvesting in themselves. They never stand still. They understand that they need to evolve and keep moving forward, whereas poor people stay static. Number 13, moving on quickly now. Rich people are bigger than their problems. Rich people are far bigger than their problems. In fact, they don't see problems. They just see obstacles to overcome, think challenges to be dealt with. They actually thrive on new challenges because they realize it's overcoming challenges that is the mechanism by which we all grow. They look to either create or find solutions to problems. If they can pull a number of solutions to problems, they've got a unique solution in that case. If they can create a solution to a problem, it's likely other people have got the same problem as well. So they look for the solutions to problems rather than seeing problems and challenges as a roadblock. So they're continually looking to evolve. Whereas poor-minded people really hate change. They are fearful that change will threaten them. So it's this mentality of threat and fear, which holds people back, stops them moving forward, stops them changing their unsupportive habits, and they stay fixed and closed in their present position. Look for challenges, thrive on challenges, overcome challenges, look for solutions. That's a rich mindset. Number 14, have a plan. Wealthy people, rich people have a plan because they know clearly what they want and when they want to achieve it. They have a plan to get themselves there. They take consistent action and implement. They maintain their focus right through to the end, but they're still realistic. They look for feedback and respond to that feedback, so they're constantly evolving and improving, and they collaborate with others and share their knowledge and expertise. That's a rich mindset by anybody's standards. Poor people have no plan. They're static. They don't move forward. They just blow with the wind. They're taken hither and thither all over the place, which saps energy like nothing else. They're erratic. They're unfocused. And they're closed to other people and their ideas. So adopt this open mentality, this have a plan, know where you're heading, implement it, carry on, evolve, keep moving forward. Number 15, an empowering regime. This is really important. We're getting into the really personal stuff now. Rich people, what do? They get up early. They have a supportive start to the day, so they'll get involved with meditation, manifestation practices. That's what I do every single morning. I meditate. I start my day my way, not other people's way. I have my little routine. I eat well. I start at a good pace, and I know exactly what I'm going to do that day. I have a plan for every day. I also go to bed at a decent hour as well. Whereas what do poor people do? They get up late. They go to bed late. They've got a lack of structure. And therefore, it all speaks of a lack of focus. So have a really good regime that you can stick to, that sets your day up well, gets you off on the right foot, the front foot. Number 16, make no excuses and hold no envy. The rich make no excuses and they are not envious of other people. The rich are accountable for their own actions and own results. They hold themselves accountable for their own actions and their own results. They don't indulge in blame culture. Everything's down to themselves. If they fail, it's down to themselves. If they get success, it's down to themselves. They make no excuses. They take ownership and responsibility. But they're also, this is really subtle, they're also very pleased. They're really genuinely glad when other people gain success. But what do the poor do? The poor indulge in envy. And I've seen this a number of times recently, sadly, where We've seen other people in my social circle do really well, and one or two people have said, well, aren't they lucky? Or, well, they always get the right end of the stick. It's not that. It's that they planned and they worked hard and it's come to fruition. But the poor mentality doesn't see it that way. They're envious of other people's success. They don't take responsibility for their own actions and their own results. They're blameful of other people, and therefore that's the antithesis of not accepting and taking responsibility for yourselves. And they're full of excuses why they haven't done anything, or why something else got in their way, or why they can't do anything. So be accountable for your own results. Take ownership of your own life and your own results and responsibility, and don't make any excuses. Just go for it. Keep everything in your own hand. Number 17, they're proud to be self-made. I always get this wrong because it's in there. Proud to be self-made and hold no entitlement. So again, it's an extension of the previous one, that rich people are proud of their own results. They take pleasure in pride in achievement, and they value what they have manifested for themselves. Whereas the poor have a sense of entitlement, that they think the world owes them a living, that they should be handed things on a plate. That's not resourceful at all. Clearly, you're not going to get anywhere in life with that kind of attitude. Be proud of your own results. Be proud of the results, and please for other people when they get them. That's something you can learn from. Emulate those people. Take pleasure and pride in your work, and value what you have manifested and what you're going to go on to manifest for yourself. Number 18, they value their own time and others. Again, really important. Rich people value their time and that of others. They're great at time management. They're punctual, which is a rare commodity these days. They're organized, they're concise, they eliminate distractions. They don't spend time on their phone or social media for entertainment and pleasure. They're limited TV, whereas poor people are disorganized, they're distracted, they waste a lot of time. Number 19, diet. Really, really important. Poor people eat crap. They eat crap, cheap food, they eat a lot of it, and they eat it at the wrong time of day. What rich people do, they have good nutrition. They eat at regular and the right times. High nutrition helps you to function at a high level. And number 20, hold empowering beliefs. The rich hold empowering beliefs. They say to themselves, how can I do this? What is the answer to this? Who can help me overcome this challenge? And they have supportive self-talk. They talk to themselves in a supportive manner. They reaffirm to themselves what they're bringing to the world, what they've achieved, and what they're going to go on to achieve. Whereas the poor, as we said, are fear-based. They think, well, what will people think of me? Oh, who cares what people think of me? They'll think it anyway. It's okay for you. It's all right for them. Again, semi-blaming other people, but offloading responsibility. And very often, poor-minded people will say, I can't. They won't even try. Say to yourself, how can I? So, to wrap up, I'd like you to just do these things. Here we go. Go through your list now and say, what are you actually doing at the moment? Which of those traits are you actually doing? What are you not doing, which you should be doing? What will you eliminate that's not supporting you? What do you need to do more of? And what will bring you the best results and more results the fastest? And remember, it only takes 61 days to form a new habit. So I recommend those 20 steps to you. Please click subscribe if you haven't already. Please hit the notification button and comment down below.